Oh yeah, by the way, join, so you can get featured as a member down below there. Join, become a member. Boom, let's go. Bert Kreischer on the JRE. Bert Kreischer on the JRE. This is more of a Rogan thing. Rogan has something very interesting to say about comedians and him being him being friends with unfunny comedians. I find this kind of rich coming from Rogan because he himself is not the most funniest guy in the world. But Rogan has a very interesting perspective when it comes to being friends with people who aren't that funny. Let's press play.
How many shows? I said 6. He goes, perfect. He goes, and then he breaks down. I'm not going to do it because it's Dave's secret. It's Dave's thing. He shared. I don't want to. But he broke down how he does a special. To me and him sitting in a fucking in a barn in the middle of a field in fucking 3 a.m. with IVs in our arms. And I was like, dude. I gave him a hug. I was like, he's the fucking greatest. Him and Cat Williams, 2 of the baddest motherfuckers and the sweetest guys. But I was like, that energy, like I want Chappelle's special to be fucking amazing when it comes out. Tell me how great Schultz's special is. I can't wait to fucking watch it.
Yeah, but you have a good attitude. That's a good attitude. That's how you're supposed to think.
That's how I think. But
it's not. It's the other.
Okay, I think that's a luxury. I'm gonna go on the side of the hater, which makes sense because of this particular stream. I think it's a luxury to feel the way Bert does about other comedians and their specials. Oh, I can't wait to watch somebody else perform. I'm happy for everybody because you're also at the top. I think another comedian, an up-and-coming comedian who's been 5 years in the game, who spends all their time going to Kill Tony, putting their name in a potluck, never getting pulled out, but they're quite decent in their local circuit. They haven't got a special anywhere on the big streaming platform. They put the special ads on YouTube. They maybe get a couple of hundred of views. They don't have many followers on social. I think they have every right. They have every right to hate these motherfuckers. They have every right to be hateful, to be jealous, to be envious of these motherfuckers. Especially because they compare their specials to their specials and they think to themselves, hey, those guys aren't better than me. They might have better productions, they might have whatever, but I'm funnier. But because this is a little harem, it's a little kind of close circle, it's Rogan fucking ordaining people, comedians, and giving them careers by bringing them on their show. He's been a gatekeeper. I think comedians, I don't know if they exist, by the way. I'm just saying this hypothetically. I don't know if they do exist, many funny comedians who aren't known to us, like regular people, who aren't outside of the JRE verse and whatever, just doing their thing in the local circuit. I'm sure they do exist. It has to be a whole gaggle of funny people out there that we have no idea exists, right? I would actually big up Ed Martinez, appreciate you.
Freaks on need us how we fuck main.
Exactly.
FTS.
Exactly. Big up Abe Martinez endorsing it. Join the Discord. I think they have every right to be jealous. And I think they have every right to question how certain people are getting specials and to be a little bit, cynical, critical, whatever else it may be. I think it's easy for guys at the top to be congratulatory, to be fucking, just to be nice about things and want everyone to win because they're also winning. But when you're not winning, when you have absolutely nothing, when your fucking special's getting 1 view, if that, I understand why you hate these motherfuckers because they are monopolizing everything, they're dominating everything, and most of them stink.
Dude, that's how you're supposed to think.
That's how I think. But
it's not. The other way is not good for you.
Let me see that.
Think about it. Is the other way is? You want another one? You want a new one?
Yeah, I'll take a new one.
The other way is bad for you as a human.
Yeah,
it's not healthy to think that way.
Which is true. You're allowed to hate. You're allowed to be envious. You're allowed to be jealous. But is it good for you spiritually, mentally, physically, everything else? Probably not, right? Holding on to that kind of hate, being that jealous, being that envious, it's probably not good for you. And it probably won't help you get where you want to get to because you're going to be thinking way too much about what those guys are doing, what you're not doing. Yo, big up NJ Ranger.
Bored and Dave. Just 2 regular middle-class guys taking 4s in a cornfield near where Dave fought against low-income housing being built. Thank 'em.
Big up NJ Ranger. Oh, imagine the sight of these guys pulling up to Dave's place, in buses, in Lambos, in Ferrari. And some of them arriving in helicopters. private fucking jets and shit. Ay. Like I said, I understand if you're jealous. I understand if you don't like these guys. You're bumping the trains. You are jumping over the fucking barriers to get on a train to get to your comedy spot uptown somewhere, right? You don't even have money to buy yourself a sandwich, a bottle of water. You're going there hoping you get fed at the comedy club. That's what you're gonna eat. You're gonna eat over there because you know some guy in the in the kitchen. He might sort you out or something. Yeah, you know what I mean. And these motherfuckers are like, I don't know, Alpha Brain, cigars, helicopters, BMWs, Rolls Royces, talking about everyone should just love each other. We should help it. Like, bro. Bert has like 6 Netflix specials. None of them are funny. And you probably can't get 100 views on your special on fucking YouTube. I would hate them too.
It doesn't do you any good. It only serves you to get fucked up. It only serves your ego and your bullshit. You got the clippers in the back? There you go.
Ego, man.
It's just not good for you. It doesn't help you. It only hurts you. It doesn't hurt the person that you're jealous of, and it hurts you.
Again, that's true, but can they not acknowledge, maybe there's a lack of it because they're a little bit delusional, but there's a lack of acknowledgement of the fact that they kind of take up all the space, you know? I bet you there's some people out there, I don't know if this is true, but I bet you there's some people out there who hate comedy just because of these guys, because they're omnipresent and they don't shut the fuck up. And your idea of stand-up is these guys, when really there's a whole other world of stand-up comedy that exists out there that's way funnier, but you don't see it because these guys take up all the fucking airspace. And they never go away. They never fucking retire. You know? They never fucking quit. So, and they're not that good. They're generally not funny across the board. There's maybe 3 or 4 of them who are funny. Maybe 5 at most. And they're not in there. They're not on the fucking screen. So the lack of acknowledgement that us guys are doing what we're doing, but we may not be the best representation of the best of the best, is a little bit disingenuous too. I understand why they're not saying it, because who's gonna say their shit, but the lack of accepting that people hate you, not because they just want to hate you, but because they think you're shit and you're taking up all the space and you're collecting all the monies, is a little bit disingenuous, in my personal opinion.
It's not necessary. You could just be inspired. And you could say, oh, this fucking mutt can make it. You can say that. I can do it too.
Oh, so he gives us permission. That's good. That's good. He gives you permission to say you're a mutt, you're shit. I can do that too. Right? He gives you permission. That's what I wanted to hear. That makes me feel good. At least there's an acknowledgement that somebody that's doing stand-up can look at you guys and think, hold on, this guy takes off his t-shirt. You're here screaming about the Kardashians being aliens or something and humping a stool. And I'm out here actually crafting jokes, actually sitting there writing funny jokes, performing in fucking pubs for one person. That's not fair. Fuck you guys. He's saying you're allowed to say that. You're allowed to say that, but just get better, which you already are, but just get more successful, which is kind of hard to do when you guys occupy all the top space.
Too. But don't be jealous. If you don't like someone and they're becoming very successful, maybe think why you react so strongly.
If you don't like, can you not like somebody and it not be jealousy and just say that person's shit and you don't get it? Are you allowed to do it? Is that possible? Or does it always sound like jealousy? Does it always come across like you want what they have? Can't you just say, hey, I'm a local guy, I'm a local girl, I'm busting my ass, I actually feel like I write funny jokes, I see the reaction from the 10 people that are in the room, they're all fucking laughing, I always get compliments about my jokes, but I'm just not at the same level of fame as these guys because I'm not on Rogan. Can you say categorically that these Rogan friends are terrible without sounding like you're jealous or you're envious? Or no matter what you say, if you compare yourself to somebody else, you're always going to sound jealous. Is that possible?
Because a lot of times it's unfortunately jealousy. Like there's comics that I don't
But is the jealousy also acceptable though? I think it is. Because the guys at the top, it applies to all areas of life. Those who have more get more. So is the jealousy not a little bit understandable? If you guys are arriving to comedy clubs, like fucking NJ Ranger pointed out, in low-income areas, in Lambos and fucking Ferraris and helicopters, and somebody's having to fucking get, you know, a fucking Greyhound bus to go to a fucking gig. Are they not within their rights to be a bit jealous? That you guys get everything and they get nothing, or they're fighting for scraps. Yeah, big up Robert Holden. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you for the dono.
Think they're very good. They don't make me laugh, but I don't care. I don't get mad at them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't.
Of course you don't get mad at them. You're nearly a billionaire off of podcasting and stand-up comedy. Of course you wouldn't get jealous or hate them. It'd be weird if you did, because you have everything. It's actually weird with Bert. Bert's really jealous. We're going to play a clip of Bert on Tiger Belly. He really has got a thing about Shane Gillis. I think Podcast Cringe pointed it out, or maybe somebody pointed it out, but he's definitely got an issue with Shane Gillis, which is weird because you're also high level, or you sell a lot of tickets, you're very famous. Like, let Shane have his time. But Bert seems to be very envious and a jealous person. Like, he always wants to be number one. But I think it would be weird if Rogan was hateful or jealous of others when he has amassed all of the monies, all of the wealth, all of the attention. Obviously for his hard work and his talent, but still, you have every right not to be. A guy, a girl busting their ass on the fucking, what's it, Tribble Run, whatever they're called, right? Playing for fucking hot dogs and fucking cheesy fries. Maybe they have a right to be jealous. Maybe.
Get upset at them. I mean, I'll be friends with them. I'll like them. There's comics that and I had to learn how to do that, because it used to be like, if guys weren't funny, I just couldn't deal with them.
Can you imagine Rogan having this level of elitism where he literally thinks he can have this point of view when he is terrible at stand-up? I have to continue the series, but check out my Patreon for the Is Joe Rogan Funny series. I've got to continue it. I think I need to get to part 5 or 6. I've got which one I stopped at. But I watched a lot of Joe Rogan specials, and he is really aggressively unfunny. Like, aggressively unfunny. Like, Rogan is funny on his podcast, but even that isn't a substitute. And it's really weird because with Rogan, I feel like I believe Rogan is a real lover of stand-up. Like, he's a real student of the game. Like, you can tell this guy's a real student of the game. He loves the fucking craft. He really adores it. You can tell he watches old specials. He's always talking about stand-up. He spends a lot of time doing it. I think he might be 30 plus years into his stand-up career. But God almighty, he is so bad. So that's a weird thing, the disconnect. You listen to him talk about stand-up. He's really dedicated to it. He spends a lot of time writing. He's always doing fucking spots in random places. Now he's got his fucking club. He's always up there performing. And plus doing his podcast. But the material on the stage, dog shit. Dog shit. So imagine that person judging you, judging the strength of your character, basically rating you as a person if you're funny or not. This guy, who's best friends with Bert Kreischer, by the way, trying to judge you, your fucking character based on whether or not you can make people laugh on the stage when he does dog shit comedy that wouldn't be good at all or funny if he wasn't famous.
Couldn't hang out with them. I'm friends with a few people that suck, but they're nice people. You could separate that. But
that's fucking wild. That also applies to him the other way around, right? And I was thinking, and everyone's thinking now on social, who's he talking about? People are suggesting this could be a shot at Brendan Schaub, but Brendan's quit stand-up now, so if he is talking about him, I think that's a little bit of an easy target, and I think it's also unfair. I think it's unfair if this is about Brendan, because Rogan endorsed Brendan. Rogan put his arm around Brendan. Rogan platformed Brendan. There was a time early on his journey in stand-up comedy where Rogan used to have Joe Rogan and Friends shows at the Comedy Store. The lineups are still out there, and he'd put Brendan on lineups with Bill Burr and them, man. Early Comedy Store days. This is before You'd Be Surprised came out. Before we knew. Remember, we didn't know what Brendan's stand-up was like for the longest time. He refused to put clips up on YouTube. He was really shy about putting clips up on YouTube because he knew it was shit, right? Before the videos came up on YouTube, before we saw any specials on Showtime, Brendan was performing week in, week out with Rogan at the Comedy Store. Rogan would put Brendan on his lineups at the Comedy Store, endorsing him. At one of the best clubs in the world, the club that fucking birthed comedy, all this stuff, sucking off the fucking Comedy Store. He platformed him there. When everyone was hating Brendan early on, Rogan would always say, oh, people are jealous of Brendan because he's tall and handsome and looks like he could take your girl and kill you or something. Not because he's terrible at comedy, not because he's a terrible person, not because he took his chances and his opportunities for granted, not because he's a bully, not because he might be a bit of a douche. Nah, people hate this guy because he's big and handsome and he fucking can fuck up your girl or fuck you or, you know, beat you up and fuck you and fuck your girl. And now here he is saying, I'm friends with actually people who are fuck. Come on, bro. It's a bit rich. It's a bit rich. It's a bit rich.
I'm also friends with some people that are mind-blowing, you know, and there's such a value in that. You know, when you're around people.
He's explaining basic human interaction, basic human relationships. You know what? It's actually pretty good to have friends who aren't all like celebrities and stuff. It's actually quite helpful to have like friends and people in your inner circle who aren't just like business owners or entrepreneurs or like politicians or like oligarchs or like athletes or like professional fighters. Wow. You know? What?
People that are like really good at what they do when you're around Dave. And Schultz is my favorite for going to a place and then talking shit about the place in such a brilliant way.
I think Schultz is fucking brilliant.
He's so good.
Dude, the whole shit with Kendrick Lamar, I was getting in the shit.
Okay, cool. We don't care. Anyway, that was the point of the video. You know, Rogan maybe getting a bit at Brendan. I think it's unfair personally for him to be sending these little sly shots at people, because even if he's not talking about Brendan, the fact that he platformed Brendan, I feel like will forever taint his opinion when it comes to stand-up comedy. He endorsed Brendan Schaub. He's best friends with Bert Kreischer. You can't talk anymore when it comes to stand-up comedy. You can't have I can't take your opinion seriously. I can't take your judgment seriously. I can't take anything that you say seriously when it comes to stand-up, when you endorse and fully back Brendan, and also your best friends with Bert Kreischer. I'm sorry. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. We don't take you seriously. We don't care. And you're also terrible yourself at stand-up, so it is what it is. It is what it is.